All right. What's up out there to all of my fellow gold diggers? This is your girl Rita, also known as the self proclaimed gold digger. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I am so glad to have you. But if you are a fellow gold digger, welcome back because I love and I appreciate each and every one of you. This is our second Tipsy Tuesday of the year, and tonight I am dropping the 2025 business blueprint. So, if you are interested in starting a business this year, you definitely need to be listening in because I'm going to be dropping some gems about what you need to know in order to get started in or start your business this year. Okay. Before we get started, y'all, I got to do my social media checks because I had issues last time and I'm hoping I don't have any issues this time. So let me do a quick check and make sure I am good. And y'all let me know because what happened last time I had an issue with the audio. So hopefully y'all are hearing me. If you're having any issues and cannot hear me, please let me know if you cannot hear me in the comments, okay? So hopefully y'all are hearing me. So let me know if you can hear me, but let me check one other place and make sure I'm good. Let's see. Okay. I think I am good on all fronts. All right. Y'all, I'm excited about tonight's topic. Y'all see my notes? Y'all, I got pages of notes. So I did not come to play with y'all. I came to drop all the gems for you guys. Okay. Before we get into it, I do have a couple of church announcements. Okay. So I have a new segment called Plan With Me where I come on Sundays at 7 p.m. and share with you my goals for the upcoming month, for the upcoming week, as well as recapping any goals from the previous week. So we go over that, and I'm hoping it will be like a planning session where you're also planning out your goals from week to week. My goal, since my name is the Gold Digger, is making sure that y'all are hitting and achieving your goals for this year. And I want to help you and motivate you and encourage you along the way. So there will be something coming out weekly where we're talking about goal setting and planning out our goals for the week as well as for the month. So if you haven't seen the Plan With Me video that I just did on Sunday, please feel free to check it out. Okay. All right, so that's what we have going on. And then we have the Gold Digger Book Club. So I'm excited about that as well. The book for the month of January is the 12-week year. So it's not a very long read. So even if you have not gotten it, there's still time for you to get the book and join me in the book club. So we're going to be reading a variety of books, self-development, self-help, but also some fun books as well. But I will be having a video coming out to go into more details about the book club. That should be coming out tomorrow. But our book club book of the month for January is the 12-week year. It's going to get you right, get you tight, okay? So that you can set your 2025 up for success, okay? So that's the Gold Digger Book Club. Also, I will also have another video coming out, another new video coming out either on Thursday or Friday. So the latter part of the week, you can expect to see some more content from me. And also check out the Side Hustle Saturday video. That is also important if you're interested in starting a business in 2025. Side Hustle Saturday is a segment I do once a month where I share business tips, entrepreneur tips to kind of help you in your side hustle, help you in your business. The video that I just did on this past Saturday was giving you motivation, inspiration. So some motivational tips to keep you inspired, keep you motivated in your side hustle throughout 2025. Okay. So if you're thinking about starting a side hustle, thinking about starting a business, go ahead, check that out because you're going to definitely need that encouragement for the rest of the year. Now, in regards to Tipsy Tuesday, if you're new here, basically what we do is we take some tips as I share some tips, okay? And I don't care what you sipping on. That's your business. That's not my business. I am sipping on water because I'm trying to be healthier. This is my year to be healthier. Well, last year was my year to be healthier too, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm just sipping on water. And usually I'm sharing some tips about a broad range of stuff. So whether it's about life, whether it's about money, whether it's about finances, business, self-development, side hustles, that kind of thing, you're going to get some kind of tips, and they're going to be beneficial, helpful to you in some kind of way. So that's what we're doing on tonight with Tipsy Tuesday. But tonight, our topic, or the tips that I'm going to be sharing, is how you can start a business, launch a business in 2025. Okay. Now, I always like a good little jingle. So I do have a song for Tipsy Tuesday. So I'm going to go ahead and sing it. If you know the song, feel free to join in and sing along. All right, here we go. Tipsy Tuesday. Tipsy Tuesday. Tipsy Tuesday. Get your tips and pass the do. Say Tipsy Tuesday. And I usually say, once you hear that song, that is your official welcome and introduction. So go ahead, make yourself comfortable as we get into these tips. Also, please remember to like the video if you enjoy what you see. Share it with someone who can benefit from it. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. I will greatly, greatly appreciate it, because I do have a goal I'm trying to reach by the end of February for my birthday, because my birthday is at the end of February. I'm close to getting to 5,000 subscribers. So if you've been checking out the content, if you've been rocking with me for a little while, but you're just not subscribed, stop waiting. Go ahead, hit the subscription button, okay? And then shout out to all the new gold diggers who have joined the Gold Digger fam. Welcome. Glad that you're here. And shout out to my A1 Day ones who have been rocking with me. Y'all know I love y'all, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get into it now that we got all the preliminary stuff out of the way. The 2025 business blueprint. I want to know who wants to start a business this year, or who wants to start a side hustle this year. If that is something that you are interested in, you can put it in the chat. I'm actually going to put the question in the chat, y'all. I'm trying to be more interactive with you guys, because sometimes I be forgetting to check the chat. Who wants to start a business in 2025? I'm going to put or side hustle in 2025. Who wants to start one? Let me know. All right. And then also, if you do plan on starting a business or a side hustle, I want to know too, what business or side hustle are you thinking about, if you have an idea in mind. If not, it's okay if you're not sure. And then also, I want to know who has tried to start a small business or a side hustle in the past, but it just didn't work out. Has, I've had several different businesses before I had my business that I have now. So I've tried out some different stuff. I've been through some changes and everything. And then also, if you already have a business or a side hustle, you can let me know as well. Shout out to all of my entrepreneurs, my side hustlers, excuse me. I see y'all, because I know it can be challenging out here in these entrepreneurial streets. So as always, I want to see you doing well. I want to see you succeeding. I also want to keep you motivated and encouraged in 2025. And some of these tips, even though you might not be starting a business, if you already have one, these tips can still be a benefit to you as well. So shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there, small business owners who are just trying to be successful or already being successful. Okay. So much love to all of you. All right, let's see. So nobody wants to start a business, because I am checking the chat. I don't see any comments in the chat, but let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. I pretty much have 10 things that I'm going to be going over, but like I said, I got a lot of notes or whatever. 10 things I'm going to be going over for what you need to start a business in 2025. The first thing that you need to do, or need to know, well, pretty much you need to do it, is you need to make sure you shift your mindset. Now, before you say, I'm tired of y'all talking about this mindset stuff, I'm tired of you talking about this, intangible stuff. Y'all want action steps. Y'all want me to tell you to go out there and, get your LLC. Y'all want me to give you actionable steps. I am going to give you actionable steps. But before you can take action, You have to shift your mindset and make sure you have the right mindset in order to start a business. Okay. If you don't have the right mindset, then your business is not going to go as well as possible. And having the right mindset means you have to have a positive mindset. You have to think positively about the things that you are about to get into, because what you believe you will achieve. Okay, so that thought happens in your mind, and you have to believe that you are going to be successful in business. You have to believe that you are going to overcome any obstacles you encounter in business. You have to believe that you are designed and destined for success. So you have to start that here. If you don't believe that in your mind, if you don't set yourself up for success, you are making a tougher and a harder road for yourself when it comes to entrepreneurship and in your small business. So everything starts here. That idea for the small business or a side hustle starts here. So even your positive thinking is going to have to start here. So you have to have the right mindset. You have to have a positive mindset, and you have to have a growth mindset. Now, the reason why I say you have to have a growth mindset is because you have to grow and adapt from the opportunities as well as from challenges and obstacles that you face. Now, what do I mean by growing from your opportunities? So what I mean by that is sometimes if you've started a business before, or you've dibbled or dabbled in a side hustle or something, that was independent on your own, you might have been presented with an opportunity that was, probably beyond what you thought you were capable of doing. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person is entrusting me to do this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that this person wants me. Let's say you had a catering business and you just catered, small parties for your friends and family. And now a company is approaching you and they want you to cater a dinner for 100 people. And you're like, oh my gosh, I've never catered for, this amount of people before. You have to have a growth mindset so that you can be willing to grow into the opportunities that are being presented to you. Just because you might not have done it before, opportunities are going to present themselves to you that are beyond what you have currently done. And if you have that growth mindset, you are going to believe in yourself. Like I said, what you believe, you will achieve. So you're going to believe in yourself that you can handle this task because you've handled other things in the past. But if you don't have that growth mindset, if you start letting that self-doubt talk to you, if you start letting that negativity talk to you, then you're going to talk yourself out of an opportunity for your business. So that's what I mean when I say you have to have a growth mindset. You got to be willing to grow and stretch to your next level in business and not talk yourself out of it, or let the doubt creep in saying that you can't do it just because you hadn't done it before. Just because you hadn't done it before, that doesn't mean that you can't do it. So you have to be willing to grow and adapt for the opportunities that are presented to you, as well as for any challenges and obstacles that you face as well. Now, the challenges and obstacles, those are going to come, and you have to stay motivated. You have to stay encouraged in spite of the difficulties that you might face. Because if you run scared every time an obstacle or challenge faces you, then you won't be running the rest of your life. Okay. And what's the saying? Scared money don't make money. So you can't be scared when you're presented with a new opportunity. And you can't be scared when you encounter obstacles and challenges in your business. When it comes to challenges, I always say it's not a loss, it's a lesson. So case in point, like what happened on my last live on Sunday when I had the technical difficulties. Guess what? Yes, I was upset. Yes, I was ticked off. But guess what? From that opportunity, I learned a new skill. I learned something I didn't know before. I learned some new stuff about what I can do with my video on YouTube. So it's not a loss. It was an opportunity, or it was a lesson, and for me to learn about, something else I can do if God forbid this happens again. This is a way for you to pivot. This is a way for you to adapt. This is a way for you to adjust and still make things happen and make things work. Now, I talked to you too about growing into the opportunities. Let me tell you a quick story. When I first opened my optometry practice and everything, and I specialize in seeing kids, and I specialize in a service called vision therapy. I got my first vision therapy patient. And I tell you, I was scared of that opportunity, but I still embraced the opportunity. And the reason why I was scared is because this would be my first. It's not that I hadn't done vision therapy before, but this was my first time doing it on my own, in my own office, without, someone immediately there if I needed to consult. Also, this was my first time, asking someone to pay me thousands of dollars in order to provide them with this service. So this was like the highest amount I had ever asked anybody to pay me for my services or whatever. But the thing about it is they sought me out. They heard about me, heard that I offered, this particular service to the community, and they were in need of my service and they saw value in it. So sometimes people will see value in you that you don't necessarily see in yourself, or are not comfortable seeing in yourself. So you have to grow into those opportunities that are presented to you. Okay. So that was number one. I know that was a lot. You need to shift your mindset. But like I said, everything starts in the mind. Now, the second thing I have, this is another intangible. So y'all don't look at me sideways. We are going to get into the actionable steps. But like I said, before you can take any action, you got to set the right groundwork to set the right foundation, so that your steps that you take will be fruitful. Okay. So the second thing I have of the 2025 business blueprint is you need to know your why. And what I mean by this is, why do you want to have a business? And the reason I say that is because your why, it has to be just more than you just want some money, because there's plenty of ways for you to make money. Okay. Starting your own business is not the only way for you to make money. And the reason why I say that is it has to be more than just making money, because there are going to be times where you don't make money. And if you have if you have started a business in the past that is no longer in existence, or something that you had given up on, it's probably because you weren't making as much money as you anticipated, or you weren't making money at all in the business. So then you left it alone. Okay. So that's why I say your why, it has to be bigger than your money, or making money, because something else is going to have to sustain you. Something else is going to have to anchor you so that you can stay committed to your business. Y'all, when I opened up my current business, my optometry practice, it was 3 years before the business was able to be profitable. Like, the business was just, well, first it was eating money. So I had to fund the business from some of my personal money. Then the business was just, breaking even. And then finally, by the 3rd year, it was profitable. But here's the thing. I knew that was the pattern of events that was to happen, because I had a consultant and they had kind of told me, like, this is your anticipated revenue for the first year. This is your anticipated revenue the second year. And by the 3rd year, that is usually when most businesses such as yours become profitable. So I knew that I was going to it would be 3 years before I made money. Now, all of us, if you're starting a business, you might not know how long it's going to take you before you make money or whatever, depending on the scope and the nature of your business. But you have to have something anchoring you bigger than that money for those times where you're not making money, or not making enough money, or the business is just breaking even. So something else has to sustain you. And then, even though it took 3 years for my business to be profitable, it has only been recently, as of 2021, my business has been open. It'll be 9 years this May. So May of 2025 will be open for 9 years. But only until recently, and I say recently because 2021 is when I was finally able to pay myself consistently. Keyword is consistently. I was finally able to pay myself consistently from my business. Okay. Prior to that, I would take an owner's draw here and there, but nothing, if there was excess in the profit, but nothing consistently. It wasn't consistent until 2021. So that was 5 years after, having a business. So 3 years in, that's when the business became profitable. We had some extra money. We weren't just breaking even. But then it was 5 years before I could consistently pay myself from my business. Okay. So you have to have a why. bigger than just money. And I used to say you need to find your why, but now I say you need to know your why, because if you try to find the why, your why for opening your business, you will easily find some distractions, some things that would discourage you, some things that would deter you, some things that will cause you not to open the business or do the business along the way. If you're trying to find your why, you need to know your why for why you are getting in business, okay? Because there's going to be a dozen things, there's going to be a dozen reasons that you will stumble upon that will discourage you from taking the next step forward. So before you open this business, get your mind right. That was the first tip. And number two, know your why for why you even want to go into business. And I highly recommend that your why is more than just making money, because money is not enough to sustain us. It's been plenty of times we done left a job and it might have been paying us good money. So money is not enough to sustain you, okay? So that was number two. The third thing you need to do in order to start a business in 2025, this is your business blueprint, is to find out what problem are you going to solve with your product or service. This is very important. You need to know what problem does your product or your service solve. And this, you need to know this because this ultimately determines what kind of business you want to have. So let's use, for example, I don't know, maybe you want to start a business, or the problem that your business solves is it provides food to people in your community. That is a problem that needs to be solved. But even with that, you need to get even more specific with the problem, because with that, if I'm just trying to solve the problem of providing food to the community, I can do that in a number of ways. Let's say I could do a catering business. I can open up a grocery store. I could have a fruit stand. I could do like a fast food restaurant. I could make desserts or whatever. It's so many different avenues that you could go into. So when you find out what problem you are solving, make sure it is very specific for get the nitty gritty details of the problem that you are solving, and not just have something general. Because if it's just general, then there's plenty of different options that you can do, as well as there's probably going to be plenty of competition. So know exactly, specifically the problem that you're solving, okay? And how is your way of solving that problem unique or different from what is already going on in the marketplace or in the community, that kind of thing as well, okay? Now, once you determine the problem that you are solving, that's when you determine what kind of product or service you want to offer to them. Just like I said, if the problem was you want to make sure people aren't hungry or solve the hunger in your community, decide, hey, am I going to do that through a grocery store? Am I going to do that by creating a restaurant? Am I going to do that through catering or whatever? However you're going to solve the problem, find out the offer that you're going to solve. And that's what I mean with offer. Is it a fast food restaurant? Is it a food truck? Is it a catering business? That is what you're offering to the community, offering to the public. Now, notice I said offer, not sell, because everything is something that you are offering to other people. Ultimately, yes, you are selling, but you have to present it as if it's like a gift, like they're going to be blessed because of this. And they should be, if you're doing it right. Okay. So what are you offering to the community? So what problem are you solving? And get very, very specific with it. Because the reason why you need to get specific with it is because if you know the problem that you're solving, then you essentially know who your clients are. And the reason why you know who your clients are is because you know that these are the people who have that specific problem, okay? So if you don't know what problem you are solving, then you don't know who your client is, okay? And when you know who your client is, or your ideal client, because everybody could, like they say, everybody can be your client. But there are ideal clients that you should have. Your ideal person that you want to benefit from your product or service, the ideal person that you want to purchase. So once you know who your ideal client is, this helps you with your marketing as well as with your marketing strategy. If you don't know who you're serving, it's going to be hard for you to market to the right people, okay? And I say that I'm talking from experience. So I'm going to give you an example of a bad experience. So I do have an Etsy shop, but if I'm being totally honest, I did not know what problem I was solving. I had something that I had started creating, and I just was like, let me just put it out there and put it up there on my Etsy shop or whatever. And where I created an Etsy shop or whatever. But I really didn't know who I was targeting, who my ideal client was. I was like, I just had this product and I'm just going to put it out there and I'm going to sell it. And these were like some of my printables. Now, people have downloaded my printables or whatever. But because I wasn't clear on who my target is or who my ideal client was, my printables and stuff did not take off. My Etsy shop did not take off. Now, there's things I could probably do to market to those particular people, because I also say I didn't really market or whatever, because I thought Etsy was this, platform that would help me attract the right people and stuff like that. But honestly, I had no idea who my ideal client was. I was like, I just have this, I have this idea. Let me put it up there. Let's see what happens. Okay. So that's a bad example of it. It's like, let me just see who buys it or whatever. I didn't have anybody specific in mind. I didn't tailor it for anybody specific. I was like, let me just see what happens. All right. Now, a good example, or a better example, I should say, of knowing who my ideal client is in my notary business. I have certain services that I want to offer to people. I want to help people do wills, powers of attorney. I want to help people with weddings. I want to help people with apostilles. Now, I will say this. Those three different things, there's three different ideal clients. Like each client is not, the same in those different things, but I know who I want to market to. I know who I need to go to. If I want to do wills and powers of attorney and stuff like that, I know what demographic I need to market to. But that demographic is different than the people I would be marketing to for like weddings. If for me to provide wedding services to them, that's also a different demographic for people that I would want to market to for apostilles. But I know what problem that I'm solving for each of those different categories within my notary business. And because I know what problem I'm solving, I know where I should be marketing my business to, and I know who my ideal clients are for each of those different categories. So just keep that in mind. And I want you to say, how are you able to help your client with your product or service? Because they need to know, how is this going to benefit them? Just going back to my example, my bad example of like my Etsy shop where I just put some printables up there. People want to know, how is this going to help me? Like, how is this going to benefit me in my life? Why do I need to get this product or service from you? Now, some people will buy stuff from you because you their friend and they being nice and everything, but those are not your ideal clients. It's nice that your friends and family might support you, but they're not your ideal client if it's not helping them, if it's not solving a specific problem for them. So you want to always be helping your client. And if you're not helping someone, then one, that's not your ideal client, or your product is not designed for them. Okay. So look into that. And you might have to do some research in your niche to find out who your ideal client is. How can your product or service solve the problem? How is it in the marketplace, or how saturated is it? How does yours differentiate? How can you make yourself stand out? So definitely do your research for the area, for your product or service as well, to make sure it is meeting the need that you intend for it to have. Okay. Now, do this, especially if you're not already knowledgeable, but even if you are knowledgeable about your specific niche that you're going into, you should still always be doing research and trying to learn more and trying to develop yourself even more. Okay. So that was number 3. Let's see. Okay, y'all, I told you I got lots of notes, but I'm going to try and hurry up and quickly get through these other ones because we only on number 4. All right. This, I ain't trying to step on nobody's toes or anything, but I have to ask the question for this next one. What is your commitment level? How committed are you to this business that you want to start? I want to know, are you in it for the long haul or are you in it just from the short term? Okay. This is a very important thing. Can you see yourself doing this business a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? If you really can't see yourself doing that, or you don't see your exit strategy of like, maybe I'm going to sell this business or something like that, then chances are you probably shouldn't get started with the business. You need to be committed. Just like I shared with you in my example, my optometry practice, I knew based off of what the consultant had told me, it's going to take me 3 years before the business is even profitable. Are you willing to be committed for that long? Or whatever it might be, for whatever your industry is. Are you willing to be committed? And that's why I said your why has to be bigger than money or just making money. You have to genuinely want to solve the problem for your community. So how committed are you? The other thing is, like I said, are you in it for the long haul or the short term? Know your exit strategy. Now, prior to me opening a business, I always thought that was weird when people were like, you need to know your exit strategy. You need to have an exit plan for your business. I'm like, why I need an exit strategy for my business when I'm just getting started? Like, I'm trying to just focus on this, I'm trying to just get up and running, and you telling me I got to think about when I want to leave the business or when I want to sell the business. Like, why is that important? But now that I've been in business, I realize why, because you need to know, what does the future look like? Where are we going? Like, what are you headed for? Like I said, do you see yourself doing this for like the next 20 years, 30 years? If not, how are you going to get out of the business? How are you going to transition yourself out of the business? So know your exit strategy. Know if you're in it for the long haul or if it's just the short term. And then also knowing your exit strategy and knowing how things are going to play out over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that kind of thing. It helps you to not exit from your business prematurely. What do I mean by that? When I say exit prematurely, that means you quit or you give up or whatever, because you didn't see yourself in it for the long haul. You didn't see yourself being committed to it. All you saw was, I'm going to make some money and I'm going to be living good. And then when you don't make any money, you ready to bounce. All right. And it don't work like that. Okay. Or it shouldn't work like that. So I want to know, how committed are you to this business that you plan on starting in 2025? Are you still going to be committed when you don't get any sales? Are you still going to be committed when you're not making any money? Are you still going to be committed when you don't get the support from your friends and family? Are you still going to be committed when you don't get the support from strangers? Are you still going to be committed when your employee quits on you? Or are you still going to be committed when you have to fire somebody, or when that client is demanding, or you end up, sending someone the wrong product, or you send something to the wrong person or to the wrong address? Are you still committed? Are you still going to be committed? If this client is demanding all this stuff with you, what are you going to do? Are you still going to be committed when the client is upset with you because you didn't deliver like you said you were going to deliver, or there was a misunderstanding or whatever? Are you still going to be committed to the business when obstacles and challenges arise? I need to know. I want to know. You need to know for yourself. Are you still going to be committed when things don't go exactly as planned? And I'm just speaking for experience. All of these things have happened to me. Okay. So I'm not judging anybody. I'm not, trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but how committed are you going to be? At the end of the day, how committed are you going to be? And then also, the important thing about being committed and showing consistency in your business, it helps you to develop a habit. And when you've developed a habit by showing up, regardless of the situation, when it comes to your business, when you develop that habit, a habit is something that starts happening naturally, something that you start doing without thinking about it. And you need to develop habits in business in order for you to be consistent and ultimately to become successful. You just you got to get it done by any means necessary. Now, I will say, You do have to analyze the situation. If your business is not profitable, or you're not seeing the trends that you want, like I said, you need to know your exit strategy for, okay, if this doesn't happen, if we're not profitable, if we're not seeing this amount of growth and this amount of increase in this amount of time, then how are we going to pivot and adjust? So you still need to be smart, and you still need to be strategic. Okay. I'm not saying, stay in it and the business is draining your life savings or whatever. But you just have to be smart about it and know that obstacles are going to come. And if you did your research or did your due diligence like you're supposed to, you'll have an idea of how long it's going to take before you become profitable. And then you can see, is this for me? Or, I need to find another business to start. Okay. Now, the fifth thing, this is where we're getting into some of the tangible stuff. This is the legal matters regarding your business. Now, first and foremost, let me go ahead and put out the disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a tax professional or a business professional. I'm just your girl on YouTube that is just sharing some knowledge from my experience that I have had with you. Okay. Please do your own due diligence, do your own research. Okay. Don't be asking me no tax questions. Don't be asking me, all this, the legal stuff or whatever. You need to check your own state laws, local laws, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. I'm glad you have so much faith in me, but I'm not the one. Okay. You need to find someone else that is more highly qualified. All right. So with that being said, do your own diligence when it comes to the legal matters. But in regards to the legal matters, some things that you need to do with starting your business in 2025 is, one, of course, get a business name. And how can you come up with a name if you don't even know the problem that you're solving? Like I said, so that's why you got to do some of these non-tangible things first before you can do some of these tangible action steps. So you need to get your business name. You need to register your business like locally with your city or your county. You need to determine the business structure for your business. And what I mean by that is, like, are you going to be a sole proprietor? Is it going to be an LLC? Is it going to be a C Corp? And this is what I'm talking. You got to figure that out with your tax accountant or tax professional or your accountant or whatever. What might be best for you? Okay. Like I said, don't say I told you to do X, Y, and Z, because I ain't say nothing. I said check with your tax professional. Now, the other thing you need to do is you need to get an EIN number, and this will cost you free $99. All right. So don't be paying for this. Don't pay somebody to have it set up for you. This is a free thing that you can get, okay, from the federal government. So you want to get your EIN number. And this is just like a social security number for a business. Just like when a baby is born, it's assigned a social security number. When a business is born, it is assigned, or it should be assigned, you got to request it, an EIN number, okay? You also want to have a business bank account because you don't want to commingle your funds. You want to keep your funds separate from your personal, which makes it a lot easier down the line with the legal matters like taxes and all that kind of stuff. So, create your own business account. And also, oftentimes, before you can get a business account, you have to have like an EIN, the business structure, all that kind of stuff set up too. Because a lot of banks, well, I don't know, I won't say a lot of banks. I know the banks that I've set it up with, they ask for that information before assigning a business banking account to you. Just like they ask for your social before they create a personal account with you. They're going to ask for certain things from you about your business before they will assign you a business account. So make sure you have your stuff in a row. Also, you need to get a business license, depending on, like, if you have a brick and mortar building, or if you're working from your home, you have to check with your state and local laws to see if a business license is required for business operations. And then, and that's pretty much it. And that's why I say, when it comes to, that's all I have when it comes to legal matters. There might be some other stuff you might need to do, but that's all I'm going to share when it comes to legal matters. And this is why I say, are you committed to this business, or are you just sitting on the fence? Because most of these things are going to cost you some money in some kind of way. Okay. You're going to have to meet with an accountant, a tax professional, registering your business. That's going to cost some money. The only thing that doesn't cost, like I said, is the EIN number, registering your business, setting up your LLC, getting your business license. The city or the county is going to charge you something. Your business bank account, you got to have some money to put in the account. Okay. So, Yeah, some of these things are going to cost you. So make sure you're actually committed to starting this business in 2025. All right. So you're going to have to put some skin in the game a little bit. Like I said, I don't want you going broke trying to start the business or whatever, but you're going to have to put a little skin in the game in order to get started. So are you committed? That is the question. Now, the other thing, once you get all these things in a row and you determine what your product or your service is, then you also need to determine your pricing. So that's the sixth thing. Determine how you are going to be pricing whatever your products or your services are going to be. And with that, you need to try and do a market analysis, like see what is the going rate in your particular area for the product or service that you provide. Also, you need to consider what would you like to make when it comes to this aspect of your business. And you need to consider what business expenses do you have in order to provide this product or service. So like if you have a product and you get it or it costs you $10 to make it, you can't sell it for $10 because then you're not making any money. You might even be losing money and stuff like that. So you want to count the cost of everything involved with that product or service. So if it's a product, you need to know down to the penny, like this is how much it costs. This is how much it would be if I had to mail it out to a client. This is how much it's going to be if I use a credit card processing system and they take a portion, the credit card is going to take a portion, and this is what my profit is. And make sure that is in alignment with what you actually want to make from your product or from your service. And when it comes to your service, a lot of that is either involving your time. So it's like, okay, in order for me to provide this service, it is going to take me 2 hours to do so. What is my time worth for that? Also, you need to consider, I didn't mention this, so I'm going to mention it now because it just came to me. You also need to consider the value that this product or service is going to be adding to your customer. And that's why I say you need to know the problem that you're solving when it comes to your product or service. Because if it's a big enough pain point, people are going to pay whatever they need to pay in order to eliminate that that problem that they're having. Okay. If it's a big enough pain point. So what are people willing to pay for your product or service? Okay. Count all the costs. And sometimes when you're in a service-based business too, you're like, hey, this only is going to take me 2 hours of my time or whatever. We don't necessarily count all the costs. Like say, for example, I'll use the notary just because I know some of y'all on here do notary business. Let me choose my words carefully. I'm amazed at some of the prices notaries are charging to provide their services and stuff. Okay. I know they're not counting all the costs. All they're taking into consideration is their time. Like, oh, this thing only took me 5 minutes to do. This thing only took me 10 minutes to do. So I'm going to charge $20 because, I made $20 for 10 minutes or whatever, which is good if you're looking at it by, trading time for dollars kind of aspect. But you're not taking into consideration, a lot of us are mobile notaries, which means that we are traveling to our clients. So you're not taking into consideration like the wear and tear on your car. You're not taking into consideration the time it takes for you to get there, get back. Also, the time it took for you to be away from, possibly getting different business that could possibly make more for the same amount of time, that kind of thing. We're not counting all the costs. Some people are not counting all the costs. All they're looking at is, oh, this took me 10 minutes and I made $20. That's not what I look at. And the other thing they don't look at is they're looking at if everything goes right. They're not looking at if something goes wrong. Same thing for someone with a product-based business. If something goes wrong, if the product you have is defective, if you have to replace it or something like that, is that factored into your costs? So let's say, for every 100 products you make, 10 products might be defective or whatever. Have you factored that into your costs? Like, okay, if I sell 100 products, I've increased my price enough to cover when those 10 things break and I might have to replace it for someone for free. Have you factored that into the cost? And that's the same thing with the notary business. It's like we're guaranteeing that everything goes right. But what happens if something goes wrong, or you have to come back and do something, or they forgot this particular document or whatever, and now you're coming back and that's more time on your part, that's more wear and tear. Are you factoring in what happens if you go wrong? And I know a lot of notaries are not doing that. Like I said, I take all of that into consideration because my time is very valuable. All right. My car don't crank for less than $50. I don't care what it is. And I know some of these signing services, and I know that I'm getting off on a tangent. Quick little side note. I know some of these signing services, because they've contacted me, and they'll be like, oh, but it's only going to take 10 minutes. And they want to lowball me and pay me a low fee. I'm like, that's even worse. You want me to crank up my car, drive 10 to 15 minutes for something that's only going to take me 10 minutes, and you want to pay me $20? No, thank you. No, thank you. Like you are not helping the argument by telling me it only takes 10 minutes. Actually, it takes more than that because it's taking me away from doing something else. I got to go there. The actual act might only take 10 minutes, but my travel and stuff takes 30 minutes. Like I said, my car don't crank for less than 50. So no, get somebody else to do it because it ain't me, baby. It's not me. But anyway, that was a side note. All right. So you got to determine your pricing and make sure your pricing effectively so that you can make money and stay in business. Okay. That was number 6. Now, the 7th thing I have for your 2025 business blueprint is that you should do your branding. So you need to brand and create your brand identity. And I realize I've been talking a lot. Let me see. All right. No comments. So y'all are quiet tonight. All right. So with your branding, you need to make sure you're sharing your story to your audience and include how this is going to help your ideal client. So include how your product or service is going to help your client. And then knowing why you started your business, that helps you with telling your story and creating your brand. All right. Because like I said, your why needs to be more than just, I want to make money. Because when it comes time for you to share your business with somebody, all you got is, well, I wanted to make money about this. No, you should have something bigger than you. Well, I decided to get into this area because I saw, people suffering from not having this particular product. And I figured there was a way for me to provide the service to my community. Like, you need to have some kind of story. Like, all of us want to make money. So you're not unique when you say that. And it doesn't, it doesn't necessarily motivate people to want to buy from you. So knowing why you started your business will help you in telling your story. And knowing the problem you're solving helps you tell why someone should buy from you. So when you're telling or building your brand or whatever, if you don't know the problem that you're solving, then you're just kind of talking to emptily to people because you're not talking specifically and saying, hey, this is how I can help you. This is what I can solve for you. This will eliminate this particular pain point for me. So you have to know the problem you're solving so you can tell why someone should buy from you. Not because they're your friend, not because they're your family member, not because it's only going to cost them $5. They need to know why this is going to be beneficial in their life. How is this going to help them? How is this going to make them better? How is this going to improve upon their current situation? So know the problem that you're solving for these people. All right. The 8th thing I have is you should create a website or social media. Now, I'm kind of on the fence about the website. I know a lot of people still use a website depending on what type of business you have, if you sell products or something on your website, but I would argue that a website is not always necessary because it can, like I said, it just depends on your industry though. But a website is not always necessary. I am leaning more in favor of, if you start a business, you need to, at the bare minimum, if you don't have no website, you need to at least have some kind of social media page. And the reason why I say that as opposed to having a website is because 1, social media is free. 2, social media can be updated a little bit more, I won't say more frequently, but a little bit more easily than a website, unless you know web design or some of those web design places like Wix or Squarespace and stuff like that. You can easily, change and update your website, or more easily change and update your website. But everybody is on social media. Everybody knows how to post. Everybody is doing that. So it's easy for you to just post updates and do stuff on your business social media page. Okay. So I would highly recommend getting a social media page, more so than getting a website, because one is free as opposed to the website. You pay something annually for your website. And then also you can quickly update and let your customers know about any specials you have, any new products you have, new services, that kind of thing. So make sure you get at least social media and or a website. Now we're almost, Jesus. All right. We got less than 10 minutes. So let me try and get through these last couple of things. The ninth thing I have is marketing. Now, y'all know I love to talk about marketing, but I can't talk a whole lot about marketing today just because we're short on time. When it comes to marketing, you need to announce this new business that you're having approximately 2 months in advance. Okay. So don't just create this business and tomorrow you start marketing. No, before, if you already have the idea in your head, if you're already working on stuff, you need to start marketing now. Even if you don't have any products or anything like that, just put coming soon. Okay. You need to figure out the problem that you're solving for the people and stuff like that. And be like, hey, do you have this particular issue? Guess what? Coming soon, I'll have X, Y, and Z that will help you out and eliminate blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you need to be advertising approximately 2 months in advance before you even open up, launch, start your business. Okay. So do that. Please, please, please do that. This helps create excitement about your business. And I will say this, in this particular age, which is also why I recommend having a social media page, in this particular age where things are more digital, where, there's not as many brick and mortar businesses, many people are making tons of money online with online businesses, or, stuff that they're doing inside of their home, where it's not, they actually have to go into a building or have a building that they are working out of. With that being said, usually if there was a new business coming or whatever, if it was being newly constructed or even being remodeled and stuff like that, you see that happening. Like, especially if you're in the area, you drive by and you be like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's a new McDonald's that's coming. Oh, that's a new Chipotle that's coming. So you see that stuff as you're driving by on your regular route, going to work, going home, that kind of thing. So you see these new things that are being built. With things being more online and digital, you can't see that stuff, okay? Or if you have a business that is digital or online, people aren't seeing that stuff. So in order for them to see you, you have to start marketing and advertising coming soon, XYZ, coming soon, this particular business, so that they can see you and be in anticipation of what's to come, all right? You got to create some excitement about this new business that you're having. And what I always like to say is that you are never, ever, ever too big to market. Now, y'all know I say like McDonald's still does marketing. Starbucks still does marketing. All of these people still do marketing. Y'all, even Beyonce still does marketing. Y'all, that Cowboy Carter and something new is supposed to be coming out today. I don't even know. Now, she know good and well she can sell whatever she wants, regardless of if she markets or not. But she still is in the business mind that I still need to market. The reason why is because she's always trying to attract new customers. She knows her regular, stands and fans are going to buy and support her and stuff like that. But she's always trying to get new people, expose herself to different people who, I don't know, who don't know about Beyonce, but still, you get what I'm saying. She is never too big to market, and she does marketing masterfully, y'all. I got a shout out. Or side note, I should say, I got a video coming out sharing with you some tips us as entrepreneurs can learn from Beyonce. That Beyonce bowl, y'all, that whole bowl, yes, I was fascinated by all the moves and the choreography and all that kind of stuff, but baby girl was dropping like business gems. So I'm going to have a video coming out about all the stuff that I was able to glean from watching the Beyonce bowl and how I'm going to be incorporated in my business, how you can incorporate it in your business from Miss Beyonce herself. Okay. So that'll be coming out soon. But yeah, if Beyonce markets And beyond, everybody know Beyonce, you need to market too, because ain't nobody know you like that, okay? Nobody know. And I say that because they don't know me like that either. So I gotta keep marketing, okay? And then the 10th thing I have, the final thing I have, and I do have some bonus stuff too, is in order to start your blueprint for starting your business in 2025 is that you need to set at least one goal either for the first month or the first quarter of starting or opening your business. Now, if you are already in business, then you should be making goals on a regular basis. And what do I mean by regular? Like, you should have daily goals, you should have weekly goals, you should have monthly goals, you should have quarterly goals, you should have yearly goals. What is your 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, et cetera goal? Okay. So if you're already in business, you should already be setting goals. But if you're just starting a business, you need to set a goal for at least that first month or for that quarter. Now, don't make too many goals. Okay. Please don't get carried away and have too many different goals or whatever. But the reason why you should definitely set a goal is because, not just because I'm the goal digger, but because your goal creates a target. And it gives you something to aim for, something that you should be shooting for, okay? And once you have something that you are shooting or aiming for, then this helps give you feedback. So you can start analyzing the data that you're getting and also analyzing the results that might come from you trying to achieve this goal. All right. And with that, you will be able to see what's working, what's not working, and be able to make adjustments if necessary from there, okay? Now, that was the 10th thing I had. And the last thing I have, this is my bonus. So the bonus thing that I have is that if you follow these 10 things, you have ultimately created pretty much your business plan for starting your business in 2025. Now, there's a few other things that you should do that I'm going to mention really, really quickly. And that is, you want to also make sure you have your business policies in place. And what do I mean by business policies? You need to know, like, what are your return policies? What are you going to do if somebody wants to bring a product back? Or how are you going to handle stuff if someone is not, satisfied with your service that you're providing? So you need to know what your business policies are. You need to create a marketing calendar. You need to know what kind of marketing you're going to be doing either month to month or quarter to quarter. I won't say week to week, but at least month to month for your business. So you should be generating or creating some kind of marketing calendar for your business. You should also have operating policies. What do I mean by operating policies? Like, if you do have employees, you need a manual for your employees. Even if you don't have any employees, if it's just you need to have a operation manual for yourself. You also need to have a training manual. Even if it's just you, like, hey, when I do this, when I sell this product, I package it this way. We ship it through UPS or the USPS, or we ship it through FedEx. The reason why you want to start creating these things, even if it's just yourself in the business, is because if something was to happen to you, if you were to get sick and you have these orders that you need to still fulfill, you can easily give someone your training manual, your outline, your business policies, so they would know what to do. Also, once you start growing and start needing employees, you already have it kind of outlined of what needs to be done, so that you can begin training and onboarding your employees. Okay. Now, any questions that anyone has about any of the tips that I mentioned, please put it in the chat. Like I said, y'all are quiet today. Put it in the chat if you have any questions, and I'll give you a few moments if you do have any questions. And while you're doing that, I am going to quickly recap the 10 things that I shared for your 2025 business blueprint. So the first thing I had is, number 1, you need to shift your mindset. Number 2, you need to know your why for why you're getting into the business. Number 3, what problems are you going to solve with your product or service? Number 4 is, how long do you plan to be committed to your business? Number 5 is, you need to take care of the legal matters in your business. And we talked about those different things. Number 6, you need to determine your pricing. 7, for the 2025 business blueprint is, you need to develop your branding. Number 8, you need to get a website or a social media page. And I told y'all I'm leaning more heavily toward a social media page. Number 9, you need to create your marketing or know your marketing. Start creating marketing strategies. And the 10th thing that I have for the 2025 business blueprint is you need to set one goal for either the first month or quarter of starting your business. And last but not least, the bonuses I have is following these things will create your business plan, but also make sure you have business policies as well as operating policies in place for your business. Okay. And let me know if this has been helpful for you in the comment section. Let me know if you plan on starting a business in 2025. And I don't see that I have any questions. And if you are starting a business in 2025, let me know. Like I said, I would love to support you. I would love to encourage you and motivate you and cheer you on along the way. And if you have found this helpful, please remember to like, share, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good night.